Welcome to the second part of the R exercise. Question 2 wants us to examine the nature of the data set. The first part, we need the first 6 rows of the data. So we'll do this by using head command. So the data is saved as sales data. So we'll now find the head of the sales data. Head of sales data is bringing the first 6 items, and the heading from Excel, the heading is Monthly.E.commerce.Sales. So all the space has been removed to make it dot. So that's why the heading is long like this. Now this next one is now asking us how much was spent on online advertisement in the first month. So this is the month. This is the online advertising. So the first month is 368. It may be in million or whatever, but the first one is 368. Then the online advertising is 170. The monthly sale is 368. For month 6, advertising 220. E-commerce sales 556. Question B, we want to change the column head to make it more readable, so that it will be quantity and advert. To do that, we use the column names command, and then we supply the column name. So since our data is having only 2 columns, we only need to supply 2 column names. Now this has been done. For us to confirm, let's repeat, check the top of the sales data again and see how the result will look like. Now this result and the previous ones were the same. The only difference now that make the shape of the results to be different is because of the length of the heading. So instead of monthly e-commerce sales, the sales is now just quantity. Instead of online advertising, is now advert. So from this point going forward, the first column is quantity, the second one is advert. So that will make it easy for us to relate with. Then we should check the head again using the up arrow. So with up arrow, from this way you can bring the previous command. For example, where we had now, you do up arrow, the last command that we call is head.sales, then the column. So we can do that to bring the previous command, so that we don't need to type each one. Now the last part, we use head to bring the first part. So now to bring the last part, we use tail command, and this is the last part. Since we have only 7 items and we are bringing the last 6, so only the first one will be removed, and then this new one will start from the second one up to the last data. Question E is asking for the number of columns. While it is very obvious here, if we have a larger data set, the same command will be used. So the number of columns is 2 as expected, only quantity and advert. And for the number of rows, this should be 7, since we have only 7 rows in the data. So this is 7 as expected. Now we want to extract a specific column. To do that, we use this $sign. So sales data $quantity, that will extract the quantity side alone. Since it's only 1 column, then to present it efficiently, it has been transposed into row. So these 368 up to the last value are now in row. To do the same thing for the advert, recall that we have changed the heading now. It's now advert. We just use sales, then $sign advert. So this will help us immediately, assuming we want to multiply the quantity value, or we want to square the advert value, so we know how to refer to them. Now we want to create a subset of the data that will pick only the values that are less than 400. When quantity here is less than 400, like 665 is greater, but 340 is less than 400. So all the lower ones that are less than 400, we want the software to extract them and store them as low sales. So after doing that, we create another one. Then we now want to know what is the highest quantity in low sales data. We can record them. So let's type the low sales so that the items will come, and we will now see the element. So the highest quantity now is 376, so it's now up to 400. Store the content of the low sales as a comma secretarial value using sales2. So we can now create another one. If we do this, if we get to our folder where we are keeping sales1, we will see another file called sales2 there, that if we open it, we will see that it's only the new subset that is there. For example, now we have the lower sales store. So if you go and check our folder, we should see sales2. So now this sales2 has just been created based on that command. So you can have a large data set, work on it, extract subset, and save each part of it as required. That is the end of the second